This is Peter here with rgbfilter. I'm here with Ken and Alex Steacy. We're here at Fan Expo to talk to them about Shards. This is Alex's new book that he's been working on with assistance from his dad Ken and a whole bunch of other crazy cool people.
Your assistant?
I don't know. I'm not making any judgments or implying anything here, guys.
I did get to be your art director, which was immensely satisfying.
That was the best part. I did the cover. Okay, the genesis of the book was Alex called me right before Christmas and said, you know, I've been working on this post-apocalyptic epic, and you had already done what? How many pages? A couple of dozen pages.
And you're going dozen pages on the original, like.
And as I recall, he said, I'm not sure if you know, this is working out. Would you be interested in collaborating? And I said, I would collaborate with you at the drop of a hat. I would love to, but A, I have to make a living, and B, I have my own intellectual property I'd like to pursue, but I've got a great idea. Why don't we chop the story up into bite-sized chunks and give each 12 to 15 page chunk or chapter to one of 5 students that I'm mentoring right now. And Alex thought that was a swell idea.
I sure did. I was just like, yeah, all right. Because, well, the reason the webcomic stalled out so hard is because I just, like, I was drawing it and I was like, I really wish this looked better, and I want it to look really good, but it'll take...
By the way, I thought it looked terrific, but...
True. But, yeah, my dad found a lot of very talented young artists from Max the Mud Animation School, and they've put together something really incredible. Like, we talked with them and gave them the script pitch. Like, I wrote 5 stories and then a 6th one that I did. And they each came up with their own interpretation of the characters and the events that I wrote, and we've collected them in this book.
Yeah, that's what it looks, because that's, so I mean, like, this is just an awesome piece of cover art for a start, and this thing looks pretty cool.
So the first section is from the webcomic that I started, presented in delicious monochrome. And then we've got a preamble, which I got my webcomic friend Sam Logan, who does Sam and Fuzzy, to do, which is great. It's a very sweet, complimentary but not ass-kissy sort of forward.
How much did that cost you?
Nothing that I'm willing to admit to on camera. So we got a bunch of these chapters, and we got a nice variance on the sort of art styles. Like, it starts off very sort of just like straight line art, and then it gets a little darker, and then we get into more tones, and we have a sort of a nice little, I guess, the comic relief chapter in the center, and then we get into watercolors, and then digital paint.
I mean, looking at just the way the art style and the tone changes, did that affect how you approached writing the story? Were you?
The stories are written to begin with. They sort of evolved kind of as the students drew them. Like, I gave them sort of guidance on how to sort of change elements. They submitted a lot of concept art based on the characters that I designed, and we sort of tweak things here and tweak things there. But like, for the most part, their initial stuff was very good, and we didn't have to go too far from the tree for that. So.
Cool. Is this a complete story, or is there going to be more of this coming?
There's going to be more of it coming, definitely. It takes place in a sort of persistent universe, and it's just a series of sort of slices of life taking place before, during, and after this massive civil war that eventually destroys the machine empire that is presented in the book. So it sort of introduces some of the characters that I want to use in the main narrative, which is something I've been working on for a very long time, and I'm hoping that'll be my next project. So this is sort of an apparatif, is that? No, that you have that after dinner.
Yeah,
it's a canape.
Well, it's an hors d'oeuvre.
Hors d'oeuvre, yeah, there we go.
I think we're or appetizer, yeah. I think we're in some neighborhood there.
I don't know the difference between canape and hors d'oeuvre, so I'm using terrible metaphors that I don't understand here. So
we do it all the time. It's cool.
What appealed to me about the story was that I had worked with science fiction author Harlan Ellison, and I had illustrated...
Just dropping that in there,
Hi, Harlan! And we had done a book together called Night and the Enemy, and that was all short stories which play against the panoply of this enormous intergalactic war between Earth and the Khyban Empire. And the very first story that was well known was Demon with a Glass Hand from Outer Limits. And later, Harlan actually wrote a number of stories back during the 50s, and I adapted and illustrated these stories, and it was assembled into a graphic novel. And what I loved about the stories was they were all about people, about ordinary people caught in extraordinary situations, to which they have to respond in often very extraordinary ways. So it never got these dramatic narratives and very personal stories never got lost against the backdrop of this massive war, and that's what appealed to me about Alex's story, was the same idea that there's something enormous looming literally and figuratively in the background, but it was still about these characters. So I love the stories, and I'm really just over the moon with what the students came up with, and we look forward to continuing to work with them.
That sounds really cool. Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, Alex, obviously you've been, working with the guys from Loading Already Run, stuff like that. Getting a lot of this kind of new web media stuff. Your dad, obviously, a giant of traditional print comics. Are you eager to get into doing work with guys like DC, Marvel, the big print names, or do you see yourself more just pushing out there and doing stuff on your own?
I would personally prefer to sort of forge my own trail in that respect. Like, we would love to get a publishing deal with somebody, but I'm a lot more interested in doing my own work and being able to present it in a way that I want to present it. But yeah, so what do you think?
I used to think that I didn't have
all of those companies before. What is your take on this?
The industry has changed dramatically, and my belief is that the future is a future of niche markets and micropayments. I used to think I didn't care if one person gave me $1,000 or 1,000 people gave me $1, it's still $1,000. I've now changed my mind, and I would much rather 1,000 people gave me $1 because I've now connected directly with 1,000 people. And if I can forge a relationship with those people and they will continue to support me and I can continue to create work that they find interesting and engaging and so on, I find that a much more satisfying relationship. And particularly if you can eliminate as many middlemen as possible by going directly to your audience, I think that reinforces that relationship. So I'm much more interested in pursuing online connections, and as such, we're actually doing the book on demand right now, so it will be available through the website that Alex is working on right as we speak. Tick, 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 tick. And we will get you the URL as soon as that's up and running, and you will be able to order the book. There will be previews of the book online. I think we should do a low-res online version, so if people just want to read the book and do so, and then order the book if they want the real deal.
Well, I definitely have to agree with you. That was one of the comics that inspired me a lot.
My relief.
You're all full of crap. Serenity Rose by Aaron Alexovich was a comic that inspired me a lot, and when he came out with the second volume, he released the entire thing online in low res, and when the print version came out, I literally could not buy it fast enough. I was just like, take my goddamn money! So,
all of my money.
I'm hoping that that's something that we can do, because, I mean, we've had a number of people just come and pick up the book, and if we sort of have that kind of connection with our fans, then we can forge a strong name. Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Turkey. I actually got a squid there.
I was just going to say...
I have no goddamn idea what's going on here. Yeah, I mean, you guys are talking about, you both mentioned connection. Do you both feel there's a better sense of connection with your fans through this, these kind of publishing?
Very much so.
Well, that's something that I find working with Loading Already Run is like we have a very good fan base, and that's most like a lot of the reason why we do it is because we get such direct feedback from people saying like, I love this stuff and like this and that and the other thing. If we were just submitting work to a big industrial distribution engine, we'd be like, do people like this stuff? What do the figures say? You know, it's nice to have the forums, and you know, going to conventions is especially good because we get to talk to these people and they tell us, you know.
My favorite thing was doing Desert Bus. I mean, last year, the first year we did it, I had never felt so old and so young at the same time, sitting doing sketches like this with a chat scroll. They had like a 40-inch monitor turned aside, and the chat scroll was on the monitor. And we had over 1,000 people in the chat throwing questions at me while I was doing these sketches. It was astonishing. I really liked that.
I remember watching that happen. It was just insane how fast that chat scroll was moving some of the times.
Anyway, I got another sketch to get going. So
all right, guys. Well, one last question for you, Alex, and this is just personal for me. Man cooking. When do we get to see more of it?
Hopefully soon. I got to talk to Morgan if he's still alive. Which I hope so. Maybe he snorted some more curry powder and he's like on a bender in an alley somewhere.
I hope Morgan is alive too. Please kick his ass and get more of that out there.
I'll get right on it.
Thank you guys. Both
you.
Brilliant. Thanks for taking the time to be with us. Hope you guys have a good, hope the rest of the weekend really goes well for you guys.
Fantastic.
Cool. Oh, we should do a throw for the website, and do check us out at exumworks.org. They'll float it at the bottom. See,
yeah,
they'll put it.
We have graphics and things.
Right
like we have this technology.
There we go.
It's totally awesome, the show we can do these days. This has been Pete for RGB Filter. Thanks for watching.
Analog. Here's our analog.